China and New Zealand marked 50 years of bilateral relations in 2022. Over the years, the two economies have developed close connections that are anchored in their shared history as well as their visions for what lies ahead. Both countries have been promoting multilateralism against geopolitical tensions and protectionism as the broader Asia-Pacific region plays an essential role in getting the global economy back on track. I discussed all this and more with New Zealand's ambassador to China, Clare Fearnley. Good to see you, Madam Ambassador. This year marks the 50th anniversary of China and New Zealand establishing their diplomatic relations, and it's been quite a journey. Standing at where we are now, what's your feeling as someone seeing China and New Zealand, two very diverse economies, working together every step of the way?
Well, together we've come a long way in the last 50 years. There were links before 72 when we formally established diplomatic relations. I think about the incredible Chinese Kiwi community, starting right from the 19th century, where we had families come and contribute hugely to New Zealand society right from the 1850s, 60s, 70s, with many of their descendants now still in New Zealand in diverse walks of life. Since 72, we've seen embassies established in both countries. We've seen a huge growth in the economic relationship that would have been unimaginable more than 50 years ago. We've also seen people-to-people links grow greatly. The relationship has become diverse, deep, and multifaceted.
As you said, a lot has been achieved over the years by the two countries. And if we focus on trade, what numbers are we talking about here?
Well, since the free trade agreement was signed between our two countries in 2008, trade has more than tripled over that period. And earlier this year, in April, an upgrade to the free trade agreement entered into force, which I think modernises the agreement, brings it into a place that's consistent with the nature of our current trade. It's a great signal to send in the 50th anniversary year. And of course, another agreement that came into force this year involves a number of other countries as well, but China and New Zealand are both party to the Regional Economic Cooperation Partnership, RCEP, and that came into force at the beginning of the year. So I think in terms of the agreement framework that we have, it continues to evolve and continues to develop.
You've seen China's opening up at different stages, and you and I can agree that CIE is a much needed expo for businesses to tap into what's possible through collaboration. What changes do you think CIE has brought to businesses worldwide, 5 years in the making?
Well, it continues to be a priority for New Zealand businesses, and our business folk, like in every country, are very pragmatic folk. They vote with their feet, and they're continuing to vote with their feet in attending CIIE. So we have a very strong business representation this year. One area that's new, is new in this 5th year, is our services sector are represented more strongly, particularly Education New Zealand, Tourism New Zealand, both have a strong presence. I can see that our primary sector is particularly strongly represented. Our food and beverage offerings are very strong. New products, new companies participating. So once again, this is now my 5th CIIE that I've been able to participate in. For our first 2 years we had ministerial participation, but since COVID that's been more difficult. But I've felt that the New Zealand business community continues to put a priority in taking part in CIIE, continues to put a lot of energy and effort into it, and they make their decisions each year to take part, which shows that they're getting a return on their involvement.
The report delivered by Xi Jinping at the opening session of the 20th CPC National Congress says the next 5 years will be crucial and China will put in place new systems for a higher standard open economy. What's your vision for this unfolding chapter ahead, and where will trade between China and New Zealand go down the stretch?
There's clearly a good deal of attention paid to policy statements and direction setting that we're hearing both out of the 20th Party Congress and from the speeches that were delivered at the opening. ceremony and its subsequent events as well at CIIE. A lot of attention has been given to the vision for future economic, I call it mutual reliance. I mean, there needs to be a good deal of trust involved in that vision of regional economic integration that New Zealand still adheres to. We have benefited greatly, in fact both countries have benefited greatly from the bilateral free trade agreement that we have. Our countries have clearly also decided that we stand to benefit from RCEP, and so New Zealand continues to look for ways to establish the free flow and fair flow of trade and goods and services around the region. We all stand to benefit from that.